Hello and thank you for joining us on another edition of the Pigskin Preview alongside the head coach of the Western Illinois football team, Bob Nielsen. I'm Andrew Bacon. Coach, thanks for joining us again.
My pleasure.
All right, this past weekend, the Leathernecks took on the Southern Illinois Salukis on Hanson Field. Going into the game, the Salukis were coming off a bye week. The bye week placed at a perfect spot as Southern Illinois' senior starting quarterback went down with an injury in the previous game, and he is now out for the year. And so with the break, the Salukis were able to prepare Ryan West for his first collegiate start of his career. And so, Coach, what was stressful for the defense to try and make this quarterback uncomfortable?
Well, when you have a quarterback that hasn't played a lot, what you want to do is try to give him a lot of looks, and obviously in passing situations put pressure on him to make quick decisions. And I will say that I think the 2 weeks that Southern Illinois had gave them ample opportunity to get him the kinds of practice reps to make him feel a little bit more comfortable. And it really did a good job of executing in the first drive. Caused us some problems with some formational changes and motions that we hadn't seen them do. And once we got through that drive, I thought our defense settled in and played very well.
Yeah, they were able to stop Ryan West very well, as we'll see the stats later on. But let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights, as unfortunately the Leathernecks would be unable to gain the victory, as Southern would hold on for a 34-28 despite a late rally by the Leathernecks. So let's go ahead and toss it out to WIU TV3 commentators Nico Heflinger and Garrett Knock for the first half highlights.
Defense kind of confused, moving a lot of players around, and this time it's going to be a play action pass, and that is going to be completed, but set for this 3rd and 5. West dropping back to throw, and it's a quick throw, and that is going to be completed for the first down. That tackle from Davon Butler, and Agnew's going to get another carry, and once again picking up a gain of about 5 yards. He's your starter. Put up some impressive numbers for Southern. West looking to throw some pressure in the backfield, and he's going to be hit, and that pass is almost intercepted by Jonathan Rollins.
That's a poor call, I think.
So it is roughing the passer. That was so 2nd down. And a play action pass. West takes a big hit, but once again a man wide open, and that was Michael Pruitt. They can get out to an early lead. As back deep to return, this one is Antoine Ford. And Ford really should have let that one go, as his momentum carried him out of bounds at the 5-yard. They're both inside Leatherneck territory right now. Let's see what Knuffin can do with the punt. And it is a bad one. And that is going to roll out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Knuffin just caught that off the side of a lot of men in the box. Play action pass, and West has a man wide open, and that time Agnew does not drop the football. He catches it and is in for the touchdown. Backfield for Norvell on 1st down. Quick throw, caught. This time it's going to be a handoff to Baker. Baker outruns Williamson and gets to the near sideline, out of bounds. That's a 1st down. Norvell, he's got a man. That is a nice catch by Fredson Solomon. Keeping around the field and catches that look like he shouldn't even be close. He's finding a way to break in. Baker breaking a tackle and getting to the 20-yard line. He's going to hand it off to Baker again. Baker bouncing this one to the left side this time. And he's got a lead blocker, Lance Lenore, and he's going to get there for the 1st down. Western inside the 10. Down to almost 3 minutes. Looking to throw in a pump fake, and a man in the back of the end zone. That is Lance Lenore for the touchdown, Western Illinois.
And there was a breakdown in coverage there. Lance Lenore all by himself in the back of the end zone.
Southern will look to capitalize on the good field position, as this is going to be an end around and brought down behind the line of scrimmage on the far side. Western sending a lot of pressure. West steps up and completes a pass, and that is John Lance, who has really just been winning the battle, but it's still a close football game. 17-7 is a swing pass and a huge hit by Antoine Ford, laying out Malcolm Agnew. Man in motion. This is going to be a play action pass. West steps up in the pocket, and brought down by Chip Holschlaw. Kinney, so he's got a strong leg, as this kick is going to be up.
I think that's good.
And that does have the distance, so a 52-yard field goal.
After the first half of the game, the Leathernecks were down 20-7. The Salukis jumped to a quick 14-point lead. However, after a second score, Trenton Norvell was able to lead the offense down the field for a score of their own. How important, Coach, was it for the offense to make a response like that, to score 7 points and get 7 points on the board after being down 14?
Momentum is a big thing in football, and when a team scores and picks up momentum, if you can come back and respond to those kinds of situations, it really is a big turnaround. And I thought in those cases when we were able to do that, we certainly got the game moving our direction and gave our guys a lot of confidence to continue playing hard and continue to execute.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned, as up next we'll take a look at the second half. You're watching Pigskin Preview.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. Fact is, if you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. 1 in 5 Americans is likely to develop a form of skin cancer during their lifetime. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Where do you think you're going?
Is your body holding you back?
I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not. I'm fine. Negative.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
With that shoulder, you're going to pick up that truck. Really?
Keeping you from working, playing, or just plain moving.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people who live with pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Whoa. I'm going running. I'm going running.
Got to see this. Go on, pick it up.
Fight for your mobility. Find your own inspiration at anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Come on. I'll take it from here.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Preview. Coach, down 20-7, what did you tell the team?
You know, it's kind of funny. We've been in similar situations the last couple weeks, and we really talked about the fact that we've made mistakes. Mistakes that are what had cost us. It wasn't necessarily a situation where Southern had played well. We'd given up a couple of short fields, and Southern had taken advantage of those. And so we talked about getting that opening possession. We were getting the ball back to take that possession and to put a good drive together and put a score on the board. And we were right back in the game, and that's what we did, and really made it a heck of a football game throughout the second half.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the second half and see the Leathernecks try and rally back.
Norvell dropping back, a lot of pressure from Southern once again. That's going to be a completion to Fredson Solomon for a first down. Western handoff going to go to J.C. Baker. He's going to try to bounce this out, and he does, and he's got a lot of room, and can they catch him inside the 20, breaking a tackle, and for the touchdown, a huge play by J.C. Baker. A couple times before snapping the football. He's going to roll out, and he's got a man. That's Fredson Solomon for a gain of 15 yards and another Leatherneck first down. On first down, it's going to be a little fake pass and then a handoff to Baker, who's going to pick up a gain of 10. Norvell looking to throw on first down, steps up, takes a hit. He's got a man downfield. That's Joey Borsellino inside the 20, out of bounds at the 15-yard line. This can be forgotten if he can put this one through the uprights. It is up and it is blocked by Southern Illinois, and they are going to recover the punt, and no one is going to catch them. That is the second time in back-to-back games that the opponent has scored a special teams touchdown. We saw it last week with Missouri State. Norvell in the pistol. This is going to be a play-action pass, looking to air it out again. This time he's got Lenore open, and that's a completion. Lenore trying to fight his way for some extra yards, brought down at the 6. To left side of Norvell, looking to pass. Quick slant to Borsellino. And that is right on the goal line, going to depend on the spot.
I think you get up there, you snap the football, and try to sneak it in right now.
Borsellino in motion. And another handoff to Baker, who's going to fight his way, and he is in for the touchdown. We saw the huge fist pump from Redson Solomon, and Western makes it a one-score game once again.
Hey, let's keep going.
Knuffman, line drive kick, fielded at the 10 by Tay Willis. And he's going to bounce this one out, and trying to chase him down is Dave Nicholson, who pushes him out of bounds near midfield. There are a couple of flags on the field. We're back. There's actually one play remaining in the third quarter, as that is going to be a completion to the tight end, Adam Feeney.
Taking a look at the stats here in just a second.
This is a handoff to Agnew, who's going to bounce this one out, and in coverage was David McDaniel, able to push him out, but inside the 10-yard line is Agnew. Under center in the I formation, hands it off to Agnew again, and he's going to walk into the end zone. And Southern remakes this a two-possession game. Bell in the pistol. On first down, look at a pass, takes a big hit, throws it up for Lance Lenore, and a flag is going to come in.
Pass interference on the defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Quick pass out to Borsellino, had to turn around to catch it, but he's got a little bit of running room. And that's going to be another first down, and lead blocker Jimmy Holschlag once again all over this football field the whole game. But let's see what they can do on 3rd and 10. Norvell trying to keep the play alive. He's going to run it, and he's going to run out of bounds, and he's going to have the first down. Baker motions to the left, Norvell looking to the right. And that's going to be a quick completion to Freddie Solomon for a gain of 8.
Keep pounding it at him.
Going to be a handoff to Baker. He's going to be brought down.
Looks like Southern's bringing the pressure.
And Norvell got some time, and that pass almost intercepted by Anthony Thompson. Norvell, he's going to be throwing. He's going to throw it up to Lance Lenore, and the pass deflected by Chris Davis. That's going to be a turnover on down in the game, excuse me. As Norvell looking to pass on first down, he's going to air it out to Kyle Hammonds, who gets laid out.
That's a target.
And a flag comes in, and I think you might be right, Gary. That might be targeting.
Personal foul, targeting on the defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot by rule, number 1. Qualified himself for the remainder of the game.
There it is, now at the 41. And Norvell going to air this one out, and caught by Borsellino, who falls down.
Bird on 4th down. It's just been very unfortunate that they should be.
As Norvell gets that one into I.C. Scott. Minute 36 on the clock. Norvell, pump fake, quick throw, high, but caught by Joey Borsellino for the first down. Norvell going to throw again. That time another catch by I.C. Scott inside the 5.
Williamson showing blitz again. It's coming off the edge.
Norvell steps up, and I.C. Scott trying to adjust for the football. He was ripped down by Courtney Richmond.
Pass interference on the defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
Norvell looking to throw a lot of pressure, just going to air it up. An amazing catch made by Lance Lenore. Even if Western isn't able to win, that talk about a top 10 catch right there. Onside kick attempt. And it takes a good hop and goes out of bounds, and a flag on the field as that kick went out of bounds. So Southern will get the football. It did exactly what you wanted an onside kick to do, but it ended up actually hopping a little too high.
As we saw, the Leathernecks would lose the game 34-28. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stats. As we see there, Trenton Norvell had a very good game. Coached 25 of 50. The percentage, obviously not the best, but that's a lot of throwing attempts. 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then the interception. J.C. Baker, another career day for him. 163 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then added 3 receptions and 22 yards. Joey Borsellino kind of reminded me of a little Wes Welker out there. 10 receptions, 110 yards, and of course you don't see it on the stat line there, but Lance Lenore did have the 2 touchdowns for Trenton Norvell. And then on the other side, Ryan West, 16 of 30, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns and the interception. And as Coach talked about earlier, he had a very good first drive, but the Leathernecks defense really stepped down and shut him down a little bit there. Malcolm Agnew had a decent game, 20 carries for 107 yards, a touchdown, and then 2 receptions for 21 yards. And then their leading receiver is John Lance, who's had a pretty good season but was shut down for only 39 yards. And so, Coach, the Leathernecks only had 4 drives, if you count the interception by Trent Norvell, that were 3 and outs. Just talk about how this offense, I know we talked last week a little bit more, but this offense is becoming much more consistent with getting first downs and getting down the field.
Being more productive, and part of that is the improvement that Trenton has had at quarterback with the experience that he's gained. He's making better decisions, he's making faster decisions, doing a good job of distributing the football, and because we've been better balanced, it's helped our running game. And our best offensive game, I think, by far, against a good defensive team, which Southern Illinois is. To move the ball the way we did and to move it consistently, we did have to throw the ball a little bit more in the fourth quarter, being behind by 2 scores. At some point in time, we've just got to get over that hump and not be playing from behind, because I think right now, with the way that we're executing, we can be a very good football team when we have the lead.
And then how much more trust have you guys gained in Trenton Norvell in this offense? I mean, you allowed him to throw for a career high 50 passes. It's a lot for a freshman.
Well, again, when you're behind, you've got to throw the football, and we're trying to score twice in the last 4 minutes, and you can't use a lot of clock in that regard. So, we have 10, 12 of those throws that occurred during those last 2 possessions when we literally were having to throw the football every down. But, Trenton has demonstrated over the last couple of weeks that he's a confident quarterback. He stands in the pocket, took some hits, and did a great job of distributing the football. And if he can continue to play and improve like that, we definitely have a chance to be a good offensive football team in these last 2 weeks.
And side note there, Trent Norvell has now become has the most passing yards of any freshman quarterback here at Western Illinois. So obviously he's having a good season this year, Coach. And a little bit about the defense now. The defense held Salukis to just 278 yards. Talk about their step up after that first drive.
They played really well. With the exception of the first drive when we gave up some third down conversions that allowed them to keep the drive alive. They really only had one other good drive on the day, and even that one was set up by a shorter field possession. The thing that we didn't do a good job with is with our kicking game and some of the other things, we did a very poor job of playing field position football, and good teams will capitalize on those opportunities, and that's what Southern did, and generated points off of short field, and obviously the kicking game score was a big play.
And then talking about special teams, obviously you guys had some struggles last week. What are some things you're going to try to adjust with the bye week this weekend?
Well, the bye week gives us an opportunity to go back and really focus on some true fundamental things, and working on timing, and we spend a lot of time in the kicking game. We normally, on average, are going to spend 20 minutes out of every practice session on things related to the kicking game, and these 3 practices that we have this week during the bye week will actually spend about a half an hour on kicking game related things, and more than scheme, really working on fundamental skills. So we hope that helps and pays off as we move forward in these last 2 weeks.
This season for the Leathernecks, they've had several defensive players step up and help this unit be one of the best in the conference. This defense has several key players who have stepped up to continue their outstanding performance as a whole. One of these players that I got to talk to was junior standout linebacker Kevin Kinsel. So this week, he is our featured player of the week.
Because in this defense, it's very hard to learn. There's a lot of checks. There's a lot of answers for everything they do. There's a lot of components to it. Like Coach Ward always says, find your piece in the puzzle. You just do your 1/11th, which is your job on the field. And if you do that, the rest will take care of itself. So the longer you're in the system, the more you learn, the better you're going to be.
Working hard over the offseason and playing Coach Ward's defense isn't the only reason for all of Kevin Kinsel's success. Each week, the linebacker is studying game tape of the opponents and preparing by watching the film. He went ahead and took us through his tendencies when watching game tapes.
A lot of their consistent plays, what their fullback's doing, how their guard is setting up, formations that they like to run play action out of, what the quarterback's checking, where he's looking to put the ball, who his favorite receiver is. So when you key into a lot of that and you learn the checks, and you kind of know what's coming, Coach Ward and Coach Bradley, Coach Yelk, all the defensive staff really hones in on that, and they really get us prepared during the week to kind of anticipate what they're going to run.
With his play this season, Kevin Kinsel received a lot of recognition around the league for his hard work and his performance. This year alone, out of 10 games, he's received the College Football Performance Award 4 times.
It's really cool. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, the best thing about it is that you can really say thank you to your teammates, because that's who's really put me in the position to do it, and also thank the coaches a lot too for calling the right plays, coaching me up, and putting me in the right spot.
With the bye week this weekend and only 2 games left, the Leathernecks have a chance to finish the year off strongly with a much-needed weekend off.
Get back to the fundamentals. That's what we're going to focus on this week. We're going to get some young guys in there, see if we can relieve the defense a little bit later in games, and really, like I said, just work on fundamentals, learning the defense again, get back to basics, and learn how to play a full game, because beginning of the season we couldn't finish a game properly, and lately we haven't been able to start a game properly, so that's big for us this week.
Last season and early on this season, the offense had struggles moving the ball. Kevin Kinsel tells us his point of view as a defensive player who can watch during the games on the sideline and also on the other side of the field during scrimmages, how the offense has grown this season.
Big time. I mean, they're really meshing together now. They're really playing well together as a unit, and that's huge for us, because when they're picking up first downs, it's the less time we're on the field. That's more time for us to fix whatever we're doing wrong on the field and see what we're doing wrong. So by them putting points on the board and keeping the ball in our possession is big. As you can see, Trent has really grown this offseason, and JC's became a big part of our offense too.
Coach, this season for the Leathernecks, Kevin Kinsel has really stepped up. You know, originally he stepped up to help with JJ not being able to play. This season, he's been his own player where a team has to account for him constantly because he's always making big plays. Just talk a little bit about him. In my opinion, Kevin's one of the best linebackers in the league. He's a guy that can play in both levels. He can play physically on the line of scrimmage. He can play on the perimeter. He can be a very effective player in the pass game, and he's an athlete. He's a guy that understands the game. He's very football smart, and you can see his athletic ability because of the fact that he plays on a lot of our kicking game units as well as holds on PAT field goals. Probably one of the few linebackers in the country that's doing that, and a guy that is really become a leader on our football team, and anxious for what he can do here in finishing out this year and also looking ahead to next season. And then obviously you weren't here in years past, but when he first got here, he was a defensive back, converted to a linebacker last year, and then obviously you weren't here, but studying film when you got here at Western, how have you seen him grown from last year to this year? I think just understanding of the defense. He's really one of the true what I'd call defensive leaders. He directs traffic on defense, has an understanding of not just what he does defensively, but what everybody does defensively, and that's been probably the biggest improvement in his game. We're going to take another quick break, but stay tuned, as up next we'll take a look and see how the other Missouri Valley teams did. You're watching the Pigskin Preview.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com. Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at the scores from the Missouri Valley teams from last weekend. As we talked about, Western Illinois was unable to get the victory against Southern. And then moving on, South Dakota lost to Youngstown State 34-38. Close one there. Youngstown State had to grit it out. Missouri State won big over Indiana State, who did have their quarterback return last week with a score of 49-7. Illinois State pulled out a 13-3 victory over Northern Iowa, and then North Dakota State and South Dakota State each had bye weeks. Looking at the standings, North Dakota State and Youngstown State are at the top with 5-0 records. Missouri State and Illinois State are 4-2. Southern Illinois is 3-2. South Dakota 3-3. South Dakota State 2-3. Western Illinois 1-5, and then Northern Iowa and Indiana State 0-5. Taking a look at the games this weekend, South Dakota will play a non-conference opponent, Montana, who's number 10 in the country. A very interesting matchup to see where South Dakota is, as they've had some pretty marquee wins over South Dakota State, and Montana always a contender, so kind of see where everyone's at in the conference with that game. Southern Illinois against Missouri State. Indiana State will play at home against South Dakota State. North Dakota State will travel to Illinois State will travel to North Dakota State, and then Youngstown State will travel to Northern Iowa. And then, of course, Western Illinois will have a bye week. And so with the Leathernecks having a bye week, Coach, we talked a little about what special teams will be doing. As a team as a whole, offense and defense, what are some things that you guys will do this week?
Several emphasis. One will be on the kicking game, as we talked, and the second emphasis really will be on just going back and breaking down some of the fundamental things that we can still improve on, and including in that getting some of our younger players some repetitions that they don't always get during the week because they're always working on being on the prep units and simulating other teams' offenses and defenses. And we'll even allow our younger players to get a little bit of live work one day during the practice a week, a little bit of scrimmage. And then the third component, we'll get some advanced preparation on Indiana State. We'll have a period or a segment of practice every day where we'll work against Indiana State's base looks and then really polish up and present our full game plan on Monday of the following week.
And the Leathernecks this year, they have a very late bye week. What's some pros and cons about having such a late bye week?
Yeah, you'd like your bye week to be earlier. I think it provides you an opportunity at that time to really address some of the weaknesses that you've identified in your football team, where you have that week that you can focus not just solely on game preparation. The advantage of having it at this time is that hopefully there are some injuries that maybe you can get some people back for that final push over the last 2 weeks. But in my opinion, if you're going to have a bye week, the bye week is probably better served early in the season.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for you this week on the Pigskin. For Coach Bob Nielsen, I'm Andrew Bacon. Thanks for watching.